this is home, but minus any comfort. The Alpha Project, an advocacy group for the homeless, invited us to come along.
This much trash and litter and foodstuffs, have rats and spiders.
As their outreach counselors climbed along the banks of the San Diego River, Qualcomm Stadium is just a few hundred yards away. Patrick Brady knows the signal.
Oi! Oi! Oi!
Oi, oi, an insider's greeting. Brady, once homeless and living here, is offering a hand to anyone who wants a way out. A way out of this, a pit of trash and food cans, wrappers, empty pill bottles, dirty sheets, makeshift beds. It's easy to make judgments.
Let's not be too self-righteous, but most of us know somebody that has some kind of psychiatric issue.
How many people are living in places like this along the San Diego River? Well, perhaps more than you might imagine. According to one homeless advocate, there may be as many as 100 people, 150 people, living in the stretch between Qualcomm Stadium and Ocean Beach. Alpha Project President Bob McElroy says these San Diegans are the hardest to reach, often living alone. Some of them are vets.
We've got kids down here, that have been in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And many of the solo campers are women.
They have no protection down here.
For some people, they'll take the stuff.
Kevin Mitchell and other members of the outreach team bring hygiene kits and snacks. It's a first step to building trust and maybe a path out of homelessness.
Get them talking, kind of breaks the ice, you know what I mean? Trying to help out, let you know that we're concerned.
Whether you care about them or not, they're costing you money. The reason why you have more cops and more fire and more libraries and these type of things is because over $200 million a year in indirect money is spent on the homeless population just in San Diego.
The outreach team talked to this man.
What do you need, clothes? You need jackets? What else?
Yeah, I wrote his pants size down.
A promise to get him some clothing may be the door to something else.
People give up on us. We give up on ourselves.
In about 10 weeks, the 2 winter shelters in San Diego will be closing.
Where are they going to go? And nobody's answered that for me.
And that will leave nearly 400 men and women looking for another place to sleep. It may be another place like this. Along the banks of the San Diego River, Sasha, KUSI News. He's making a big stand by sitting in a tree, that is. Donald Stewart has been up in those branches since 7 a.m. and he vows he'll be there all night. When the first tree removal trucks came rolling in, Donald Stewart was ready to go out on a limb. The Coronado resident and retired Navy SEAL decided on a spontaneous sit-in.
Many people in Coronado view this specific block with this canopy of 100-year-old eucalyptus trees is very unique.
18 sugar gum eucalyptus trees have stood like magnificent sentries along this street. Each is more than a century old, prized for their shade and their beauty.
It is devastating because they're so beautiful. The trees have not hurt anyone.
Instead of chopping the whole tree down, they can just cut the branches. I think it's a bad idea to cut the whole entire tree. These trees are historic. They're part of Coronado.
But earlier this month, the Coronado City Council decided in a closed session that it would be best for public safety to remove 4 of the 18 trees. Mike Chase, a neighbor on the block, asked the city to do something about the trees after his wife was almost struck by a falling branch.
I think it's a matter of public safety. My wife was almost killed by, can't see it now, but this tree over there.
The protests seemed to take root. As word spread that 2 of the 4 trees had been felled. By afternoon, a second demonstrator had found a perch. Ryan Gillespie even had a hammock and a guitar, playing a mournful blues. By late afternoon, the mayor of Coronado himself, in suit and tie, clambered into the tree to talk to the first protester. As the mayor also told reporters, the decision to take the trees down came at the recommendation of a tree expert who found that the 4 trees to be removed showed signs of decay and trunk failure and could be overwhelmed by wind gusts of 30 miles per hour.
If you're on notice about the danger of something like one of your trees and you don't do anything about it, it will put you in a very difficult position legally if and when that person sues you.
He's sick.
Josh's mother is worried about what will happen next. Her son has been diagnosed as bipolar and paranoid schizophrenic. He also suffers from PTSD and brain trauma, likely a result of multiple concussions.
He needs help, but I know a lot of times they're not aware that they need help. It's just that's their reality. The world is a scary place for them.
In the last 5 or 6 years, he's been in and out of the VA hospital and the Naval Hospital, trying to fight the fear and confusion in his head.
Because the VA keeps changing his doctors, they keep changing his medication. He doesn't take it because of the side effects, and that causes him more problems.
6 months ago, he stopped going to his VA appointments. 2 or 3 months ago, stopped taking his medications. Just days before the carjacking incident on December 1st, his mother says Josh was arrested and jailed overnight for suspicion of DUI. You thought there might be a missed opportunity there for the system or someone to intervene?
If they had known that he had a history of being in the VA mental ward, which he's been there like 4 times, he's had his license suspended at least 2 or 3 times, that they could have recommended that he go to the hospital and be evaluated at a minimum, instead of just letting him free on the streets.
Even if her son had been sent somewhere else for treatment, Andrea knows that would only be temporary. The fact is, there is no place for people like Josh Harrington.
I don't think there's any place for veterans that, other than the temporary situation at the hospital.
Josh belongs to the brigade of warriors who came home scarred by invisible wounds. The warriors who came home only to discover there's no home for them.
There is no place.
Josh's mother, Andrea, is scared too. She says there's very little she can do now when her son won't get treatment. She was calm and collected during our interview, but after the camera stopped rolling, she let a few tears come out. She told me, "I don't care how messed up my son is. I don't want to lose him." What could I tell her? What could anyone tell her? This is a story we feel compelled to bring you, but honestly, we can't say how it will end. Sasha Fu, KUSI News.